friends, Lorien Witch here with your monthly tarot card reading for your individual sign. This will be a brief snapshot of what's to come for most of you in your sun sign. It's also applicable for your rising sign and your moon sign. So watch those videos if you'd like a fuller picture of what seems to be coming up for you this month. I have picked up on messages the cards wish to give me for those who need to hear it. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't feel that you have a resonance with the messages, that's absolutely fine. Perhaps the messages this month don't really apply to you, or you could in fact look back on the month and actually see that they did have a purpose there. So whatever you feel like in these messages, don't worry. I do hope it does resonate with a fair few of you. It seems like it's going to be a majority for this month. And if you'd like me to look at something more in depth with you, please feel free to get in touch. You can book and purchase a personal reading with me on both my website and through Etsy. As usual, thank you so much for your kind comments, for your sharing, subscribing, and also your emails as well. I've met a lot of you through Facebook and Twitter, in addition to YouTube, and this really makes me happy connecting with you all. So I just wanted to let you know I am so glad that I'm able to connect with you this way, and that a lot of you do feel a resonance with the readings that I do for you. So without further ado, let's have a look at your sign. Hello Sagittarius, thank you very much for tuning into your September reading for 2015. We've got the Chrysalis Tarot deck for you this month. It's slightly changed from normal. It doesn't actually go from the Rider-Waite deck. If you're familiar with that, it does have a little bit of a change. And we also have the Earth Magic Oracle deck giving you the basic overview for the month. Now, when I was actually meditating with your cards and shuffling them for your month, it was almost like arrivals. That was the word that kept coming through when I asked for a message, arrivals. And I'm not sure whether this is arrival of people or whether you're expecting or actually going to get the news that somebody you care about is expecting. It could be like that in your arrival. But I just think there's another presence that's coming in here. Another presence that's going to be really helping you and pushing you on board. And maybe it's the arrival of a new job, in fact. But the way that I'm seeing it is that you have the chance to push against everything. Now, the first week is the King of Mirrors, and this is normally the King of Cups in traditional tarot. And I would say that this person is very steadfast. They know where they're going, but they have travelled a very long road to get there. I believe this is because Saturn's now coming into your own sign in the middle of September. You are looking back at how far you've come, what the last few years have given to you, with Scorpio as your 12th house and Saturn having been there. You may have actually looked at the spiritual side of things, how you want to get forward using that, or maybe even some things that you were normally taboo for you to talk about. I think that there may have been some kind of instinctual changes over the course of the last few years, but I think this week is some time to take stock and then maybe make some plans as to where you believe you're going to go. The Eight of Scrolls in the second week is very strong for me as well. The reason saying that is that because you have a lot of wisdom, you have a lot of experience, you've got a lot of strings to your bow. I don't believe Sagittarius is actually a master of one skill. I believe you are almost like a jack of all trades, but you have a natural ability to adapt and be skilled in various things. Communication as well is very strong for you, but you may sometimes struggle to decipher what direction you want to go in, what messages are for which area. I think if your spirit guides try and get in touch with you when you're in a particularly creative spate of things, they could try and trip over themselves to try and give you the right information and for you to understand where you're meant to go next. They can only advise you. You have to take on board that information and then put it into action. And if at any point you don't want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But I think you do well to understand the messages that are coming through. So if you have any particular weird dreams during this week, or even throughout the month of September, do try and not jot them down, because they may hold some messages that you need to hear, and just to guide you forwards. Really, there's going to be maybe some kind of precognition with this, because as you can see, she's got a little bit of a crystal ball there, so I think it's just to let you know what's coming up for you in general. Now, in the third week, when Saturn actually moves signs into your house, or the first house in your sign, you're going to feel the pinch. This is going to be 3 years of exploration, inner change, outward change, making adjustments. The microscope's going to be really bearing in on you, and it could make you feel uncomfortable, but it's also a chance for you to grow, nurture yourself, and struggle through. As much as it sounds very exciting, it is something that can be really beneficial. A lot of people, when Saturn comes out of their first house, they change jobs, they change careers, they change everything, because they've grown so much over the last few years of it being in their first house and how they see themselves, personal desires, goals. Speaking from experience here as a Scorpio who's just experienced Saturn in my first house, I travelled. I had a very strong spiritual experience that put me on various different paths. I find myself getting rid of people I didn't need, just change jobs entirely. You know, it's all about taking instinct instead of, looking at what other people are doing around you. So I think, even with this 5 of Mirrors with the Lotus, if you know anything about lotuses, they're tethered in the most sometimes dreadful of ponds to actually settle looking incredibly beautiful. They're almost like a beautiful island in a stormy sea. And I'm not saying that you have to be the beautiful island, nor that you have to be the stormy sea, but I do see that you're going to be moving forwards and actually experiencing some of the karmic energy of Saturn that's coming through, and maybe also getting a bit more inner visions that are coming into this as well. Now, as we look at the Lovers, this has got the Sun and the Moon, and this kind of is in on the eclipse that's happening in this week. So I would say that around the eclipse you could be feeling a little bit more amorous at this point in time. There could be some tradition. If you're deciding to get married, it could be around this time that you make plans, or that you understand that you want to spend your rest of your life with a certain person. It could be when you're wanting to bring in a certain person, or if you recently ended a relationship, if you're single, I understand your pain. But it's almost like, I actually don't think that you're that bothered. But to be honest, it's almost, you are now looking at what you want to make a list of your next partner. I think that you will afford to be choosy during this month, because looking at the Wolf, it is a case of instinct winning out everything else. Don't bother about what you hear there and everywhere. Look at your inner self. Look at what you want to do. You're going to be maybe a lone ranger, which makes the arrivals and the relationships, if you're in one, a little bit harder to understand and encourage yourself with. But I do feel that you have the survival instincts to survive this Saturn return, this Saturn moving into your Sagittarius, whatever you're looking to do. And it's a very encouraging feeling. I think you are going to be challenged, but you can be challenged. You can really come into your own now, and there's nothing that I feel you won't be able to do. Because if you can face looking into your psyche, looking into your deeper self, and deciding where you want to go and what you want to do, you're not going to have so much to bother, Going back to the Lovers again in the last week of September, I do feel that you are going to be pushing forwards, and you may actually feel like you understand yourself. If there's a yin and yang within you, you're going to be able to tap into that now, and you really are going to be feeling the benefit of that most of all. Now, if you'd like me to look into anything more personally for you, I do now offer Skype readings, which is on my website, as well as video and email readings. I also have Patreon up and running. If you'd like to support the monthly content of this website, with a small donation, that would be absolutely lovely. Try and get a webcam properly for this. because the webcam I got right now is okay, but it's not really HD standard, you know. And I do feel like you are going to be moving forwards into something different. So I do look forward to looking into this for you in October. But in the meantime, do keep commenting and subscribing, and you know, the communication that you give to me through Facebook and Twitter as well. I really enjoy that, and I enjoy seeing what resonates with you and what happens with you. So don't forget to do that throughout the month of September if you can afford to. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a very good, but if not scary, start for you in September. It's like a new year all over again. So let's take a look, see what happens for you, and I look forward to reading for you in October.